What's going on, you guys? It's Rahul here, back again with another video, and here I am with another top 10 vid, and this time we got my top 10 wide receivers in the NFL right now. So before this video does get started, you guys know what to do. Like if you enjoy, as it really does help out the channel, and also make sure to subscribe if you guys are new and enjoy this type of content so you don't miss out on any new videos like this. Plus, we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and once we hit our goal, I'm finally gonna do a face reveal. But yeah, with that being said, let's just get this video started. And at number 10, we got Keenan Allen of the Los Angeles Chargers. And Keenan Allen, I'll admit, not his best statistical season in 2020, but he's consistently put up really good numbers when he's on the field and when he's healthy. And I will say he struggles with health issues. There's no denying that, alright? But overall, Keenan Allen is a really good player, and he just consistently puts up really good numbers, to put it simply, you know? And it's really going to help him, hit. I mean, I think the fact that he's going to be playing with Justin Herbert, I think that's going to help him a lot. And next year, I do think he's going to have well over 1,000 yards and a good amount of touchdowns. And yeah, overall, Keenan Allen, he's a really good player. And in 2020, he had 992 receiving yards and 8 receiving touchdowns. But moving on to number 9, we got Allen Robinson of the Chicago Bears. Now, I talked about Allen Robinson in a video I did on 10 underrated players in the NFL, so you guys can check that out. There will be a card popping up right about now. Hopefully I don't forget. But yeah, I guess I'll try and make this kind of short. But Allen Robinson, he's a really good player, and he's one of the most underrated players in the NFL, in my opinion. I mean, he's consistently put up really good numbers and well over 1,000 yards a year, despite the fact that he's never really had the chance to play with a really good quarterback. I mean, he's had to play with Nick Foles, Mitchell Trubisky, Blake Bortles, and of course, those guys, they would be much better. They're going to be much better NFL quarterbacks than I am. But, I mean, even then, they're just not very great quarterbacks, very good quarterbacks. I mean, even then, Allen Robinson, he still put up very good numbers. And that just speaks to how good he is as a player. And in my opinion, he could definitely maybe make his name way into, like, possibly being a top 5 receiver if the quarterback play is good. And I'm really excited for the Bears, in the future, because if Justin Fields plays well and Allen Robinson is still on the team, then he could have some of the best years of his career, and he could be an extremely good player. But yeah, last year he had 1,250 receiving yards and 6 receiving touchdowns. At number 8, we got DK Metcalf of the Seattle Seahawks. Now, DK Metcalf, what can I really say about him? He's an absolute athletic freak, and he is one of the most dominant players in the NFL, like complete freak of nature, man. He had an absolute breakout season in 2020, and simply put, he's really unguardable, and he's done well against some of the best cornerbacks in the NFL, like a lot of these receivers. But to put it simply, DK Metcalf, he's an extremely good player and is just so physically dominant. He was amazing last year, and I know a lot of people are gonna say like, oh, AJ Brown and Terry McLaurin are better. DK Metcalf had, Russell Wilson throwing him the ball, and I know having Russell Wilson probably did help him a lot, but at the same time, you can make say that for, a lot of receivers on this list, So, I mean, yeah, while the quarterback situation does help him, at the same time, DK Metcalf was still a really good player, and I mean, even if you gave him like an average quarterback like Jared Goff, for example, I think he'd still put up very good numbers. And in 2020, he had 1,303 receiving yards and 10 receiving touchdowns. At number 7, we got Mike Evans of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Mike Evans, he's one of the most underrated players in the league, by the media. Now, I will admit, he's starting to become, more recognized, considering the fact that he's on the reigning Super Bowl champions, and, Tom Brady being there is going to obviously get a lot of media attention. But yeah, Mike Evans, one of the best receivers in the NFL. The media has underrated him a lot. In his 7 seasons playing in the league, I believe. Yes, he's played 7 seasons in the league, and he's put up over 1,000 yards in every single one of them. And simply put, he's extremely good. And make it even more impressive, he plays on one of the best receiving corps in the NFL, and maybe it's the best receiving corps in the league. And in 2020, he had 1,006 receiving yards and 13 receiving touchdowns. Simply put, Mike is great. At number 6, we got Michael Thomas of the New Orleans Saints. Now, Michael Thomas, he struggled with injuries, unfortunately, in 2020, and he hardly played. And because of that, I'm going to be fair to him and, a lot of injured players on this list, who didn't exactly have very impressive stat lines due to the fact that they, didn't play a lot. I'm going to leave off the stats, for this one. I'm not going to really list them here, but Michael Thomas, he's still a really good player when he's healthy. And I think a lot of people, I think a lot of people do need to realize, while he did struggle with injuries this year, I think we all know how good he is when healthy. When he's on the field, he's one of the best receivers in the NFL. Next year, I do think he will make his way back into being in the conversation of being a top 5 receiver in the league, and he could definitely make his name as being a top 3 receiver in the league next year. I do expect him to have another all-pro caliber season in 2021, and I mean, call him Slant Boy or whatever name you want. And I mean, if you don't like Michael Thomas, okay, I mean, I guess it's your opinion, but yeah, call him Slant Boy or whatever name you want. Michael Thomas is still a really good player, and as I said before, I think he's gonna have another great season in 2021. But yeah, that's kind of all I have to say for Michael Thomas. Making our way into the top 5, we got Julio Jones of the Tennessee Titans. And now, Julio Jones, he only played 9 games last season. Because of that, he had one of the not good career, I guess not good stat lines of his career or whatever. I mean, he didn't have a great year, but at the same time, he only played 9 games. That's really what I'm trying to say. But yeah, Julio Jones, he might have only played 9 games, but we all know how good Julio Jones is. He's one of the best receivers of this generation, and even then, in the games in which he did play, he was really good in them, and he was on pace to have a really good season. He had 771 receiving yards and 3 receiving touchdowns in the games in which he did play. And Julio Jones, to put it simply, he's just a fantastic player. There's just, how else do I put it? Next year, I think he could have a really good season. He has Ryan Tannehill throwing him the ball. Ryan Tannehill, really good player, very underrated. And along with that, Tennessee offense is going to be so deadly. You got him, of course, you got A.J. Brown and Derrick Henry. That offense going to be extremely good. And Julio Jones, what can I say? He's a really good player. Now, the reason why I have him at number 5 is simply because of, injuries. But I definitely think it's possible that he does rise next year, if he does play a full healthy season and has another Julio Jones year. In other words, a really good year. But yeah, that's kind of all I have to say for him. At number 4, we got Tyreek Hill, the Kansas City Chiefs. Tyreek Hill, I mean, he's a great player. I mean, like everyone on this list, but Tyreek Hill, he's an extremely fast player, and along with that, he's a really good route runner. And usually these speed demons like Tyreek Hill, I mean, they're usually just number 2 receivers who act as deep threats, and usually you don't ask them to run like an entire route tree. You ask them more to run, just like go routes or, do stuff after the catch. However, Tyreek Hill is an exception to that rule. And I mean, Tyreek Hill, not only is he a really fast guy, but he can also, he's a good route runner, and because of that, he can be a number 1 receiver. And Tyreek Hill has also proved that even if you're not a very big guy, you can still be a number 1 receiver. I mean, he's like only 5'8". I know I think on Google it says he's like 5'10", but when I see it, watch him or like see pictures of him, he looks way more like he's 5'8". But yeah, Tyreek Hill, amazing player. And I know having Patrick Mahomes probably does help him a lot. However, Tyreek, as I said before, you can say that for a lot of players on this list. But yeah, he had 1,276 receiving yards and 15 receiving touchdowns in 2021. Not 2021, 2020, but yeah. Anyways, making our way into the top 3 now, we got Stefon Diggs of the Buffalo Bills. Stefon Diggs, he had the best season of his career in 2020. He finally made a Pro Bowl, and he finally made an All-Pro. He led the league in catches, and he also led the league in receiving yards. And he's not the strongest guy, but Stefon Diggs, just a good player. He's fast. He can, obviously run deep and catch the ball. We saw that a lot this past season. And he's also a good route runner and can also just work the middle of the field. And simply put, he's a really talented receiver. And even in Minnesota, I always felt like he was really good. It's just, playing next to Adam Thielen, I mean, that kind of did hold him back in a way. I mean, not trying to discredit Adam Thielen at all. It's just like, having Adam Thielen next to you is obviously going to diminish your stats a little bit, But Stefon Diggs, simply put, amazing player. And in 2020, he had 1,535 receiving yards and 8 receiving touchdowns. At number 2, our runner-up is DeAndre Hopkins of the Arizona Cardinals. DeAndre Hopkins has consistently put up great numbers, and he's one of the best receivers of this generation. He's just a really good player, to put it simply. He's good at creating separation and is a good route runner, and he's also really good at 50-50 balls and is really hard to cover and one of the most unguardable players in the NFL. And simply put, DeAndre Hopkins is just a really really good. Next year, I do think Kyler Murray is gonna improve, even more. And if Kyler Murray has like has a really good season, then DeAndre Hopkins, he could also have a very good season as well. And personally, I do think the Cardinals, they're gonna be a pretty good team next year. But on to number 1, we got Davante Adams of the Green Bay Packers. Davante Adams, he had a great season in 2020. He's the best route runner in the league, in my opinion. He can play anywhere as a receiver. He can play outside as your number 1 X receiver, or you can move him into the slot and ask him to do stuff there. And simply put, Davante Adams is just a really good player, and I know having MVP Aaron Rodgers does help him a lot, but at the same time, you can say that for a lot of players on this list, as I said for, the 3rd time now. Just simply put, Davante Adams, he had a really good season, and if you have DeAndre Hopkins over him, I can see it, but I had him over on number 1, simply because, he led the league in receiving touchdowns. He had maybe the best season of his career, and, he just had a great season, and in my opinion, he's a better route runner than DeAndre Hopkins, and he's a better route runner than anyone in the league. And in 2020, he had 1,374 receiving yards and 18 receiving touchdowns. But that's kind of all I have to say for this video. Thank you guys so much, as it really does mean a lot to me, for you guys, to you guys watching this video. And of course, before the video ends, you guys know what to do. Like it if you enjoyed, as it really helps out the channel, and also make sure to subscribe if you guys are new and enjoy this type of content, so you don't miss out on any new videos like this. Plus, we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and once we hit our goal, I'm finally gonna do a face reveal. But with that being said, I'm out, you guys.